I was a senior trainer. My job was to evaluate it and create a lessons learned report so the strike group could fine tune themselves and go on deployment and hopefully come back alive with nothing broken. So we were getting ready to kick off the exercise, but a few days before that, we started to notice these odd tracks. And the reason why I say odd is they were coming from low Earth orbit and coming into our radar horizon. And I'm just going to put out a number because it's already out there, 80,000 feet. And they came down in groups of 5 to 10 at a time, would sit up at altitude, and then all of a sudden they would drop down as a group down to between 20,000 and 28,000 feet off the coast of the island, Catalina Island. And they would just sit there. And then one by one, they would, individual objects would leave the larger group and they would transverse right through my operating area, Whiskey 291, which is right off the southwest coast of San Diego. And they would go about 100 knots, which was really strange because these things could go Mach, who knows? I mean, instantaneous flight capabilities, okay? And to this day, I don't know why they were going so slow. To catch our attention, who knows, right? But the odd thing is, Jimmy, every single one of these contacts, and if you counted them all up over the course of 10 days, about 100 contacts, separate contacts.
Wow.
The weird thing is, every single one of them, to the best of my memory and knowledge, disappeared off my radar in the exact same spot in the sky.
Wow.
Which was about 60 miles north of Guadalupe Island off the coast of Mexico. We ended up canceling the exercise because there was an obvious safety of flight concern, and I convinced the captain that we had to stop the exercise, and I also convinced him that when we did launch, I was going to take one of the aircraft, cancel the training, go to real-world operations, and intercept the closest object to identify these things and to determine what they were. I had searched high and low for an answer. All the documentation, I had made calls back to the beach. Our data was going back to the beach, so anyone interested could see it on the data links in case there was someone back on the beach messing with my exercise, and we just got confused. Because I have to tell you, Jimmy, if we were out there doing a strike group exercise, it is illegal for anyone else to layer another exercise on top of my live exercise without me knowing. Because what's going to happen? I'm going to have strange objects in my sky and I'm controlling aircraft. There's going to be a midair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then someone's going to ask, what the hell? Why was I so incurious, right? So to this moment, I'm upset. If that's the case, I'm pretty upset about it still. But I refuse to believe that because the people that I serve with just don't do shit like that. You know, we've all trained and safety of flight is the number one concern. So I convinced Captain Smith to cancel the exercise. We intercepted the closest object with Fast Eagle 01 Commander Fravors flight. And I got to tell you, as soon as he got to the merge plot position, they were up about 20,000 feet. And we call it merge plot because on a two-dimensional radar display, you're seeing two pieces of symbology merge now. As soon as they got to that spot in the sky, this object, whatever the hell it was, dropped from 20,000 feet down to 50 feet above the level of the ocean. I found out the next day in 0.78 seconds.
Wow.
Less than a second. No
Crazy.
sonic boom. And the reason why I know it was the same track is because we assign track numbers and symbology to everything that flies. And that way, very quickly, Jimmy could walk into their room and realize who's who in the zoo, right? The reason why I know it's the same contact or object in the sky is because the track number remains the same. The computer tracked it the whole time, right? So anyway, Commander Fravor, being the guy he is, Top Gun grad and the whole 9 yards, thousands of hours in his flight book, he went chasing it down, of course, left his wingman up high, gets down to cold altitude with the thing, and all of a sudden it recognizes him. And I'll tell you why I say him, all right? This is an important point about this. this thing, whatever it was, turns on him, and they get into a dogfight, if you will. And up in the overhead speaker in combat, all of a sudden we hear, oh my God, I'm engaged, I'm engaged. And you got to remember who this guy is, right? For him to speak like that on the radio was pretty astonishing, right? Broke protocol. We don't normally talk that way on the radio, right? And the next thing I hear on the radio, I was over by the front table. I was briefing the leadership, right? Well, what the hell was going on, or doing the best I could, right? And all of a sudden over the radio, I hear my air controller saying, sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is now at your cap station.
Wow.
Now you have to understand, Jimmy, if I'm the aircraft carrier, right, and the threat's coming from where you are, right, I'm going to have stations set out in front of me with known combat air patrol stations to protect us from the inbound threat, right? And every one of these combat air patrol stations, we call them cap stations for short. They are pre-assigned, pre-briefed. Everyone before they launch knows where they're going, what their mission is, when they're coming home, the whole 9 yards. Whatever that thing was, there was 8 of them at the time, if I remember correctly. Whatever that thing was went to his assigned cap station.